Hello everybody, my name is Dragon. Welcome back my channel Health Fitness 1047. Here is the episode new. Follow me.
Season 2 of the Squid Game series officially aired on December 26th and quickly took the world by storm. With 7 episodes, this season directly follows the first season, bringing more intense survival games, focusing on the collective element, and expanding the game space beyond Korea. The plot of Season 2 still revolves around the main character Seong-ji-hun, Lee Jung-jae, focusing on the tense confrontation between him and frontman, Wang In-ho. Secrets are gradually revealed, especially Ji-hun's past. However, the ending of the film is ambiguous, causing a lot of controversy and paving the way for Season 3 expected to be released in mid-2025 to solve all the mysteries. Season 2 received many compliments for its content and staging, but was strongly criticized for the weak acting of some supporting actors, especially T.O.P., as Thanos, a former member of Big Bang. In addition, some controversial details and dialogues have caused the film to be boycotted in some markets. According to director Wang Dong-hyuk, Squid Game 3 will be the final part, focusing on the journey to discover the truth behind the deadly game and bringing a complete ending to the entire series. 1. Simultaneous development strategy. Netflix's calculation. The fact that parts 2 and 3 are developed almost in parallel shows a methodical strategy of Netflix in maintaining the heat and continuity of the Squid Game brand. This is a move to retain the audience for a long time, while controlling the quality of the content when the parts are built under the same creative vision. 2. Plot development and character development. Seong-ji-hun, from an unwilling player in the first part, becomes a character who actively pursues the truth in part 2. The confrontation with frontman is not only a personal conflict but also reflects the contrast between two types of reactions to the system. One side wants to overthrow it. The other side accepts to operate it to control chaos. Folk games, once an attractive element in Part 1, continue to be transformed and elevated into a tool to reflect society in Part 2. However, the shift to collective missions also reveals a new perspective. Survival is no longer a personal matter, but a choice between cooperation and betrayal. 3. Acting and controversy. T.O.P., the inevitable black hole. T.O.P.'s perceived weakness in Part 2 is not only an artistic assessment, but also reflects a harsh reality in the entertainment industry. Fame cannot replace skill. T.O.P.'s awkwardness shows the gap between music idols and professional actors, a gap that not everyone can overcome. However, the mixed reactions to T.O.P. also partly reflect the pressure of too high expectations from the public. In the context of Squid Game being a global brand, any mistake is exaggerated and becomes a topic of controversy. 1. Survival obsession and social message. Still the spearhead? Squid Game is not just a survival game. It is a metaphor for capitalist society, where the poor are forced to play by the rules set by the rich. Part 2 still retains this spirit, but shows signs of being diluted when trying to expand the scale, inserting too many twists and subplots. Modern audiences don't people die, they want to understand why they have to die. Therefore, if Part 3 focuses only on action without the political and psychological depth that Part 1 had, the series will lose the identity that created the initial explosion. 2. A perfect ending, an antidote or a double-edged sword. Wang Dong-hyuk affirmed that Squid Game 3 will explain all the mysteries and close the story completely. This is both a hope and a pressure. An ending that is too perfect can easily fall into a safe rut, lacking surprises, while a shocking ending risks dividing the fan community like what Game of Thrones once suffered. 3. What monster is Netflix raising? The success of Squid Game is not only a success for Korea, but also a victory for the entire Asian content industry against Hollywood's dominance. However, the pressure to please international audiences also means that Season 2 lacks the gritty, localized feel of the first. Netflix is forcing Squid Game into the mold of global franchises. And this puts Season 3 at risk of becoming a copy of itself, losing the subversive elements and cultural nuances that made it special. Squid Game 2 is a necessary but not truly outstanding sequel. The shortcomings in acting and looseness in messaging mean that this season, despite its popularity, cannot avoid controversy. However, Season 3, expected to be a grand finale, could be a chance to redeem everything. If Wang Dong-hyuk can maintain his critical identity and restore social depth, Squid Game 3 will not only be the end of a story, but also an important milestone for the modern survival film genre. Otherwise, it will be a tomb, beautiful but soulless, burying a heritage that once shocked the world.